Hello, you are listening to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly audio show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club. My name is Benjamin Bloom and I'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show, with ITFC aficionado David Diamond for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour of football conversation. So make your Monday a Blue Monday. How's it going, Dave?
Yeah, all right. All right, man. A bit different today because I can see you.
Yeah, you can see me.
And I can see a box of Gillian behind you as well, like half open. Probably like, oh, hang on, and a lot of CDs behind your head or something like that.
DVDs, yeah.
Oh, DVDs.
The thing with the chocolates is that I'm going on the New Year's resolution tomorrow, so
yeah. What? No chocolate.
Just nothing, no calories at all.
No cows.
I don't know. Just
We
need
don't
to lose the love handles, don't I?
You don't do many cows anyway, do you? Really, you're a veggie. I mean, I know perhaps there is some
Oh,
cows.
I can still eat biscuits. Don't you worry about that.
Of course, yeah. Bitties.
So for 2018, we're trying to do a bit of an upgrade of the Blue Monday podcast. So what we're trying today is we're trying to record the Skype call. I've got a nice new headset. Look at that. It's beautiful. Kind of holds my hair back. So the idea is these are all going to go out on YouTube as soon as we finish them. And then the podcast is going to go up at a time that I need to discuss with Dave, maybe 6 a.m. or something on Monday morning. But just to try and drive people to these new YouTube videos, it'll be available on there first, which means have you ever done it like topless or in your pajamas or anything?
Well, me, no, but tell you what I'm doing it in today.
For those of you listening on Acast and iTunes, Dave is modelling an excellent Make Your Monday a Blue Monday
I just
t-shirt.
thought I would, just for the first one.
Which if you go to @Blue Monday ITFC on Twitter, you can buy and support this wonderful podcast. Dave, do you want to hear from Ian Milne first?
If we must.
I like Ian Milne, you know I do.
Yeah, I know. I quite like Ian Milne. It's not his fault, is it?
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's the way he is. Ian Milne on Bart says, Bart is one of our number one players, if I can put it like that. In previous seasons, I'm surprised nobody has come in after him, and they haven't. We're naturally very keen to keep him, and I know he wants to say. We're going to have to do about 500 Bart updates this month.
He's gone.
Can we have a thing? Can we have a gimmick? Where are you on the Bartometer at the moment?
Can we have a Bartathon?
Where are you at the moment?
Oh, mate, I don't know. I mean, there's well, as it stands, Christ, there's no real cover, is there? Gherkin, I'm not really sure. I know this is about Bart, but Gherkin seems to have got this reasonably long-term injury, so that only leaves a young Crow on the bench who hasn't played yet, albeit perhaps we'll get to that, and he may be in contention for Saturday if Gherkin's not fit. So yeah, that is a bit of a concern at this stage, isn't it? However, unless we sell him for big wedge and get someone else half decent in, but he would be difficult to replace. It's no fluke. He's been our player of the year for the last 2 seasons. He's been magnificent, hasn't he?
Lovely stuff. James Blanchfield has joined Aldershot on loan, basically replacing Adam McDonald. Now, you mentioned James Blanchfield in the very, very first episode of this podcast that you were excited about him. That would have been 2.5 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Hasn't made the strides that, say, Tristan Nydam has. He's 20 now, Dave.
No, I think so, and I think again, perhaps because he hasn't been in the first team spotlight, I think he has had an injury issues. I mean, don't all he's a midfield player of Ipswich Town. I mean, that just goes with the grain, doesn't it? But so I think that's obviously knocked him back a bit, and I think he just hasn't kicked on. And the likes of Dazelle, up until this season, Nydam and Downs have usurped him somewhat, you know.
Yeah. Okay. 19-year-old.
Good experience for him. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. But McDonald's obviously. McDonald scored 4 goals in 17 in that loan spell, so he did really well, didn't he?
I mean, I looked at him yesterday, and you think, okay, mate, and people behind me were saying, why is Brew playing? Why is Brew playing? We're looking to get shot of him. Why is he playing? And I looked at McDonald and yeah, Brew looks physically stronger than McDonald. I mean, imagine him playing yesterday against those 2 units in midfield. It just wouldn't. Yeah,
G unit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
19-year-old Aaron Drinan will
Oh,
complete the
yeah.
paperwork from his move from Waterford in October. So when the transfer window is open, Mick wasn't really sure when because they have to do all this like red tape crap.
I think it's called international clearance,
An international clearance. That's something that sounds like something
international
Luke
rescue.
Chambers would have done several times in the 2015-16
Sorry, have I missed something? Was he an international?
Mick says he's trained and not looked out of place. He's been really good. It sounds like he's a big strapping forward, Dave, and Kiefer Moore's coming back. Is this
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
more cover for Ghana? Maybe any
I,
chance of him getting a first team game this
I
season?
wouldn't have thought so. Although I did hear something funny. Mick in his press conference, did he not say that the lads have called him Murph?
Oh
I mean,
my God.
hopefully that's for his aerial and goal scoring ability rather than he just comes from Waterford or something like that. But no, I mean he seems to be, he's trained and seems to be quite highly rated and seems to have done well in the training so far. So good luck to the lad. It's going to be interesting. We spoke about this last week. It's going to be very interesting when Moore comes back just to see if he gets game time. I mean, what's the point in having him back? I still say, what is the point of having him back if he doesn't? What's the point?
Yeah. The thing that made me really roll my eyes in that press conference was Mick seemed to think that this nickname of Murph was like the most hilarious, sophisticated, like John Cleese level comedy he'd ever heard.
It's not big and it's not clever, is it? Come on, lads. Yeah. It's No, it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Moore. I mean, there's a game yesterday. My youngest sitting with me yesterday said, "You know what, Dad? Here's a game where Petey Moore's not back and on the bench."
Yeah. Speaking of yesterday, should we go there, Dave?
Yeah.
And special treat for everyone watching on YouTube. You do get to see the pad of majesty.
Wow. Was this your actual match pad? So you're making this actually
this is
at
my
the game?
match pad. It's gone up to an A4 one because what tends to happen is it's okay with teams like Derby where I kind of know who the players are anyway, but with maybe, I don't know, Sheffield United where I haven't seen them play for 5 years.
No,
I'm
absolutely.
literally the whole time, right, who's
that?
Who's that marauding centre? Oh, it's Basham. Oh, he scored. Oh, there you go.
And it's not like 1 to 11. Who's that 43? Just showed a good touch. Can I just, for comedy, can I just show you my pad?
Oh, I've got, hang on a minute. Here's the old one. It's just down here in my desk. There's the old one. It's kind of...
Oh, you'll just get a bit... Christ. Yeah. This time next season, you're going to have one like this, Ben. They're not going to let you in with it.
What,
like a sheet of wallpaper.
An A1 art pad. Right, yeah. So Dave, I spent most of the journey, because I'm a nerd, trying to figure out whether Mick was going to go... And actually, I phoned you to get your opinion, and you were far more interested in what you're just about to have for dinner than...
Yeah, I was, actually. Bloody nice, mate. Fish finger sandwich it was.
Can you imagine, though? I'm bored out of my mind on the A12. I listened to Graceland, and then I listened to Paul Simon talk about Graceland after listening to Graceland.
I love that album. You actually gave me that CD some years ago, I remember, or perhaps you lent it to him and I just never gave it back.
There you go.
Yeah.
A bit like the 35 quid for that Aston Villa ticket 2 seasons ago, wasn't it, Dave?
Banging on. All I can say is cycle charity, mate. Look, you did a good thing there.
Okay. So he did end up going 4-2-3-1 because I thought he might do the 4-1-4-1 he did in the return game at Derby. So it's Bart in goal, Spence right back, Knudsen left back. No surprise that Spence came back. Chambers and Webster the centre backs. So Connolly and Brew holding in front of the back four, and then the 3 behind Garner. So you had Selina on the left, Ward on the right, Waghorn in the kind of 10 position. Garner up front. Would you make of that team, Dave? Did you expect it to be more defensive or pretty standard given the lack of options he had?
I thought that was pretty standard, and I think we both nailed it on, when did we record? Wednesday, when it doesn't seems like yesterday almost was, that we both said, I think, that we thought McGoldrick would be left out for Selina, and we were spot on, weren't we?
Spot bollock on. There you go. I'm not supposed to swear on YouTube. They stopped the ad revenue. That's ruined it, haven't it?
Is that a proper swear word, though?
Oh,
bollock.
YouTube guidelines. If you say anything that's not centrist, anything remotely right wing, you're demonetised straight away.
So was our Huddersfield pod last year, that just would have been completely vetoed.
Demonetised immediately. Yeah. So Derby played. Did you make it 4-4-1-1, Dave?
I was just watching Huddlestone and Thorne boss the midfield. I didn't really
Okay.
notice, to be perfectly honest. Yes, I think so. Yeah,
So-
it was Winnall. It was quite nice. It was like Winnall up top, Vidra sort of behind him.
Yeah, in Football
Yeah.
Manager terminology, I had Winnall down as striker centre and Vidra down as forward centre because there is a difference. So look, Carson in goal, Forsyth left back, Keogh and Davies were the centre backs,
Yeah.
Wisdom the right back, Tom Lawrence left midfield, Johnny Russell right midfield. The two you mentioned, Huddlestone and Thorne, central midfield, and then Vidra, who's the top scorer. That kind of surprised me when I saw them in the game in Derby. The top scorer actually plays off the striker, so he's obviously a good player. So Vidra
I'd say
behind
Rowett,
Winnall.
I'd say Rowett got it probably right yesterday, didn't he? Anyway.
Yeah, okay. So 3 minutes in, Davin, Waghorn attempts a 40-yard lob and falls over.
He likes that, doesn't he? Did we not have one of those against QPR? Was it against QPR? It was. He quite likes those. I think he wants to score one of those this season, doesn't he?
Who's that guy who scored from 50 yards against Chelsea? Scottish bloke. And they showed a video, Jamie Carragher, Charlie Adam. They showed
Christ, what a goal!
They showed a montage on Sky of him trying that about 10 times before.
What, in real time, in
in
play,
games,
in matches?
Yeah, he tried it loads of times.
Well, fair play, he pulled it off. Who was the guy? Who was the guy? Was it goal of the season who scored the goal for Wigan at Sunderland?
Figueroa.
Manuel Figueroa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was equally as good. Yeah, you don't see many of those.
So Dave, it looked like Waghorn had been told to drop back and get Huddleston in defensive shape, and it looked like Connolly was coming back with Vidra, and it also looked like Connolly had been told, look, in the QPR game, nobody's getting the ball off the back four, Skews, and it looked like he was trying to make himself more available. Do you think long term he's actually good enough to do that, or do you think as soon as Skews comes back it'll be nope, right, okay, you get the ball off the back four? And
no, when Skews comes back, Skews will slot into his position. I know it's a well-worn thing and we've spoken about it before, but these last three matches, I mean, it proves we really do miss him when he's not there. Much maligned, but we do miss him.
Garner shot charge down easy for Carson, and then on 12 minutes, Dave, and Mick had this right in the press conference, it was pretty much championship fare for 10 minutes, and then it always annoys me when, especially when you're at home, when the away team doesn't really have to do a lot to take the lead. So do you want to take us through this goal?
I agree with what you're saying, especially a team like Derby who look like they could play through us at will, really, and did fairly often. Yeah, it's a corner. It's a flighted corner from Lawrence. I think you said on your recap after the game that was quite nice. When he went to take the corner, he got a pretty nice round of applause from Sir Bobby, which is no reason why he wouldn't. Quite nice to see. And it's quite a clever goal, I think. It's a flighted corner, isn't it? And all their big lumps start off at the back post, make a run to the front. And for once, I think it's Garner who actually unbelievably sort of gets caught under the ball, doesn't he? Garner seems to get caught under the ball, and I think in sort of Knudson's defence, I think Knudsen just thinks, oh, Joe Garner's up for this one. He's going to head it 50 yards clear like he usually does. And it's a disappointing one because Winnall gets a reasonable contact. It's well directed, isn't it? It's not the most powerful header. It's well directed. And Bart maybe slightly unsighted, but the key thing there for me, no one on the far post, is there? But I think I heard Mills say on Radio Suffolk afterwards, that's the fashion these days, you know. Back in the old days, you're on near post, you're on far post for corners. But yeah, clearly Bart, I haven't really noticed before, just has someone on his near post, doesn't he?
Well, the fact that you haven't noticed probably means that it's not that big a deal.
Relevant.
Is it? Yeah.
But it's only a big deal when a goal goes in like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
In real time, did you think Bart was slow getting across?
I did. Yeah, it was quite slow. It was, to be in fairness to Bart.
There was a shade in front of him, wasn't?
Yeah,
it was
right
in Knudsen.
In the corner. Yeah. It was almost a slow motion type thing. I'm right at the other end, as you know, and I think it's one of those ones you think, oh, he hasn't really got good contact on that. That's going wide. Oh no, it's him. You know, it was an odd one really. But I think in Knudsen's defence, like I said before, I think Garner just gets a bit caught under the ball instead of heading it clear, he's been brilliant. We can't slate him for that because he's been awesome. It's just as, I think, effective in our penalty area as he has been in the opposition's, you know. Disappointed soft. You put that down in the sort of soft category, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I think the thing that annoyed me is they tried one gimmicky corner, like you say, with all the big guys run into the near post and the ball
Yeah, it's
chipped
not
over,
clever, is it?
and it worked. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
annoying, isn't it? But
yeah.
that was really good insight from Mills, because that's the sort of thing, however much you and I study,
No,
we don't know.
wouldn't notice
So
it.
apparently the goalkeeper will decide.
Oh yeah, the goalkeeper will decide. As Mill said, some goalkeepers don't prefer any. They prefer, the fullbacks or whoever takes a post, pushed up on 6 yards or something like that. But yeah, you just don't notice it. Certainly, I remember. Certainly when I played bloody amateur football, no standard at all. It was always right corners. You're on front. You're on back post. It was always the way it was. And I'm pretty sure, back in the old, back in even the Robson days or Burley days, we always had people on the post. But from now on, I shall look at that.
Yeah. So 1-0 to Derby after 12, and then straight from the kickoff, just a complete cluster. So the ball goes down the middle. Vidra's not favourite to get it, but Chambers and Webster kind of equidistant, and they both, as I understand, they both
After
leave
you.
it to each other.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
when Vidra takes it, they're both like, well, I'm not fouling him.
He's off. Yeah, they're off. Yeah.
Vidra goes through, and what a miss.
I don't know why. I mean, at the pace he was going, why did he just not go round Bart? He had the ball. It wasn't as if, he had the ball perfectly under control. And at the pace he was going towards the goal, I thought, he's just going to walk this one in. And he almost, for someone who scored, I don't know, 13 goals this season, he almost panicked, didn't he? He got Bart coming out and panicked.
Well, my theory is, Dave, that if that had been in a kind of 10-minute period of normal play and a goal just hadn't happened.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't think he was relaxed because the goal had just happened.
I guess he's thinking, right, this is it, game over now, 2-0,
Yeah.
game, that's the game. Yeah, and it was the game. Yeah.
I think anything else other than straight after a goal, and
good point.
And he's scored that. But Selina floats in a free kick, Connolly up in the air. Carson looked unconvincing with Garner, but the ref blows up. Vidra's in again on the right, Dave. Poor defending, it kind of breaks to him, and Bart, good strong hand on this. Long ranger from Thorne, not far over. Wisdom, who was having a lovely time, he slips past two, goes down the line, cuts it back, and Lawrence is really relaxed. He winds up for the shot, and great block by Chambers, who's having that miscommunication. But from what Mick said afterwards, apparently Webster wasn't right from early in the game with his Achilles. He was playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so maybe
there's
Chambers
something,
was
there's something in that. Yeah. He's having a good season, Chambers.
Great corner from Waghorn to the back post. Connolly I don't know if it was shoulder and head or something, but didn't get a great header, but off the line, Dave.
Hacked away by Lawrence of all people.
Oh, was it Lawrence, was it?
Yeah, he didn't get anything on it, really. I think it's like hit his shoulder or something like that. I don't think he didn't anticipate the ball getting that far. Great corner, hell of a corner again. They're great, aren't they? When he gets them right, they are fantastic.
Awesome dribble by Russell, Dave. We haven't seen too many players this season who do the fashion seems to be few touches and sprint now. He's old school where he has several touches every
head down and go proper dribble.
Every few feet though, and he kept touching it, and he literally rolls it along the goal line, and you love it when the fullback comes across and covers.
Spence, superb, yeah.
Spence takes it out. Breakaway from Selina. Right, I'm going to just beat my Freddie Sears drum here. So Selina goes. So there's not much of it left to beat, is it? Selina goes through, and he's one-on-one with Wisdom, and Selina is quicker than everybody on that pitch, other than Tom Lawrence, probably, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't take Wisdom on. All the point I want to make is if that had been Sears, the whole ground would have groaned as he cut back inside. Do you agree?
I sort of agree. I mean, I probably think that Sears, no disrespect to Fred, would have probably cut back inside and looked to offload that. I mean, at least he did cut back inside and get a shot off, which, okay, I think Carson had it covered pretty much. I just don't think he had the confidence to go. But I mean, Wisdom, I thought, would look a really good player, quick, strong. As you said, he had a lovely day of it. Well, certainly first half.
Well, and how quiet was Selina in the first half?
Yeah, I just don't think that Selina had the confidence to take him on his left side. But, fair play, got back inside, good move, got back inside. Yeah, not a bad strike, but, probably other than the chance from the corner, best opportunity, best effort of the first half, probably.
So Winnall gets in down the right-hand side of the box again. I thought he just put this one wide, Dave, but the ref gave a corner, so it's probably a good save by Bart on.
save. Yeah, I think so.
Fingertip, and Webster takes a yellow for a foul. I did that really embarrassing thing where you yell at the ref and you get it wrong. I'm like yelling, "You can't pull it back. They've had the advantage." Oh, it's a corner. All right, now I look stupid. So
Yeah.
it goes to half time, Dave, and could have been. I think 2-0 at half time would have probably been fair, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't have flattered them at all. They bossed that first half, really, Ben. We'll get to them afterwards. Yeah, they looked really good first half, didn't they?
Okay. So Mick makes his move at half time and he squeezes the midfield together and tries to condense the game. So for the first time this season, we see a diamond midfield. I guess he just tries to squish everything up. So Connolly is at the base of the diamond with Ward in front of him to his right, Brew to his left, but they're still central. Selena's behind the front too. And I mean, I met you at half time and we said, poor old Garner, he's struggling. He needs someone up there with him. So we actually get Waghorn and Garner
we do. Yeah.
up front together. So
needed that.
Mick makes quite a sensible move. And long ranger from Ward straight away, but Carson's comfortable. And unfortunately for Mick, a mixture of a brain fart from Selena and a great play by Winnall. And
You can't legislate. You can't legislate for that. Again, it's poor from Selena. It is poor. He gives the ball away really cheaply and about 30 yards out, Ben? Probably.
It's a silly giveaway, but we'll take us through the goal, Dave.
Cheap loss of possession. The goal, yeah. I mean, the goal is clever, so he loses it. It goes to Lawrence, who sort of touches it to Winnall. Really great. I always like to use that word. Manipulates the ball really well out of his feet, doesn't he? Sort of rolls it out of his feet. What a strike! Were you there? Did you give it a whack? Did you give it one of them?
It wasn't really a whack, was it? Because he doesn't stick his foot through it. He gets power on it.
He flights it in. He flights it in. What a lovely goal. He flights it in, but it doesn't dip. It just goes straight in, doesn't it? Yeah, unstoppable, but no chance. I mean, he just didn't anticipate that. Go on, you were going to say about Selena.
Well, he does some really dumbass things, doesn't he? The question I was going to ask you, right, is with Selena sometimes, is it if he was playing with better players, he often tries passes that if he was playing with Man City players, they'd actually be fine because they don't. I always remember the Arsenal story where Bergkamp and Vieira would say, "It doesn't matter. Give me the ball. It's up to me to control the ball, not you to pass it perfectly." There's two sides to the possession. There's my ability to control it, and sometimes you think, okay, that was a giveaway. But I was thinking, sometimes the passes he tries, is it that they're not Ipswich ready passes? Do you know what I mean?
That's a very good point. So you're saying, the players he's looking to give it to just aren't on his wavelength. That's a good point. It is a good point. I think he's just a bit naive and. In certain areas of the pitch, he's tried to eradicate that. I mean, obviously Mick wouldn't play him if he wasn't eradicating that. But every now and again he just gets it wrong. I mean, come on, that yesterday it wasn't on the edge of our box, and you can't really legislate for what happens after that. But it's just a cheap loss of the ball in a bad, potentially a bad area.
And Mick just doesn't want the Ipswich players taking those risks. You always yell when players play a dangerous ball inside on the edge of their own box, don't you?
Of course you do. But I think it probably shows to a degree, how much Selena's progressed that Mick didn't give him the hook after that within 5 minutes, which I'm sure, 5 games into the season, 10 games into the season, he probably would have done,
And a quick mention, the Winnall slipped inside by Tom Lawrence. That's his second assist.
You're giving him an assist for that.
He's getting an assist for that, isn't he?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So Russell played in down the left. They're queuing up in the box, and Bart does really well
Good
here.
For Bart.
Anticipated it. Ipswich breakout. Webster out wide. They can't play through the middle. Falls to Connolly, and this must have hit Ipswich on the way. He's got quite a good fair shot, Connolly, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah, he's not scared
when he has a go, it makes a difference. He either wins a corner or he gets it on target with power most of the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So for 5-6 minutes, Ipswich are on top. Perhaps Derby might be sitting back at this point. Vidra wins the battle with Webster, and all the nerds in the ground like me and you, Dave, are going perfect hat-trick. Winnall's in on his left foot now.
Yeah.
Can he do it? Over the top from him.
Yeah.
Thorne with a low long ranger and Bart's comfortable. Now, I was actually at this point when Waghorn gets the free kick and puts it straight out, I was actually thinking, haven't Waghorn's set pieces gone off the? This is on 61 minutes. Bear in mind we're going to score on 65. I was like,
Yeah.
haven't we? Because I remember going to the Villa game and thinking and saying to you on the pod after, Dave, oh my God, we've got a serious corner taker.
We're going to score so many goals from his corners. Yeah.
This is going to be like Leicester under Mickey Adams with Muzzy Izzet taking all of them, where they like scored about 30 goals in one season from corners.
Elliot Walsh, yeah,
exactly. Taggart.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jerry Taggart. Yeah.
So Ward, great work down the right straight after this deep cross, and Brew with the diving header. I think he can't see that till the last minute, can he?
He's unsighted. Good run. Do you know what? I thought Brew. We'll get to this after. I thought he did okay yesterday.
He's been 6 or 7 out of 10 every time this season, hasn't
he? Yeah.
So Dave, do you want to take all three corners on in the 65th minute, and we're going to the goal?
The first one's poor. Doesn't get past the first defender, does it? And I'm not sure. The second one, I can't even remember the second one, but it's all in a row. Again, it gets cleared. I think he gets a little bit better flight on the second one, but it gets cleared for another corner. And the third one is just perfect on the spot. Poor from Derby. I mean, Garner's unmarked like 6 yards from goal, isn't he? So it clears the first defender. The key is with those corners, those in-swinging corners, is hitting with pace, isn't it? He hits him in with pace, misses the first defender, and Garner's got a free header from 6 yards, buries it. So, a bit out of nothing, really. All right, I'd say out of nothing.
No, we were on top for...
We had... Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, Derby, you never know how much they're sitting back. Off. But when we deconstruct this at the end, compare that to the QPR game and, how much they had to go in this game, and it's absolute night and day, isn't it? Lawrence with a good work from Winnall, and Lawrence goes through and he tries to shoot back across himself and doesn't connect well. Knudsen with a chance on the far post. The cross goes all the way over. He has to come in on his right foot, and Wisdom is a big unit, and he kind of blocks it out with his chest. So on 68, Weimann comes in for Lawrence. Lawrence gets a good reception. I think that's the time to applaud him, not when he's taking the corners. I think as and when he gets substituted or what have you. But I think someone near me said, and I had this line planned, I must admit, someone near me said, oh, why are we being so nice to Lawrence? And I said, we'd be playing Colchester this season if it wasn't for him and Bart last season. So some respect to be shown. And Dave, we discussed this quite a lot. David McGoldrick comes in for Kevin Brew and plays in centre midfield. We speculated whether he might be good in this role, but for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see Dave's reaction.
Oh God, no, just didn't work. I mean, McGoldrick. I mean, God, was it? I don't know. Was he trying too hard? I just don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't interested. That's not fair because he was, but no.
Dave, the game was stretched, and he was trying to play the killer ball every time he got the ball.
Good point. Yes, he was. I think. Yeah, he was. Yeah. No, it didn't quite work. And again, Mills. You got to respect to Mills. He says really, when you think about it, David McGoldrick was his most effective for us, obviously before all the injuries. That very first season when he played in a front two, slightly off Daryl Murphy.
Can I be a little bit contemptuous with that, Dave? Did he not win Player of the Month in September and score 4 or 5 goals playing on the right-hand side of a 3 off the front?
Well, there you go. Yeah,
he was bloody effective then.
Yeah. Although, okay. Let's put into context perhaps the opposition. But no, you're right. Yeah.
McGoldrick has a flick at a corner from Waghorn and puts it over. Iorfa comes in for Webster, so fingers crossed with Webster because Mick seemed to say he had a trouble with his Achilles all game, and we should have bought him off earlier. Is what he said.
Clearly, he's not going to play. He's not going to play Tuesday.
He's already ruled him out. Yeah.
Oh, he has. Yeah, he's not going to play Tuesday. And people around me, and I've seen on the forum, people saying, "What the hell has Tommy Smith done?" So our left side. No, hang on. Let me get to it. Our left-sided centre back, goes off with an injury. Smith's there. Smith's on the bench. However, I can see we're chasing the game. It's 2-2, short of pitching Tommy up front. And to be fair, it did certainly once or twice it paid. You can't deny for all his perhaps lack of attributes as a footballer. No, that's a bit harsh on Iorfa, but he's a proper athlete. And a couple of times he bloody gallops down the right, didn't he? He really did. Won a corner, I think. A couple of times he did that. So I can sort of get that. I wouldn't be surprised at Fulham if Smith's back in there, though.
Oh, I'm fervently. If he'd brought Smith on, I would have been the opposite. I would have been, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can see it. No, I'm not saying I felt like that.
Squeezed the game's been squeezed down the middle. Knudson's getting loads of space down the side. For me, it was the most obvious thing in the world to bring Iorfa on because it's gone narrow and get the fullbacks forward.
And he did get he did that. He did
these
get forward.
people moaning are the same people that will be moaning that we don't quote have a go in games, and then when you bring an attacking right back on, they moan that it's not. I think the thing is that people have a soft spot for Smith because he came through the academy and Iorfa's on loan. But that was, I'm sorry, that was totally the right. I agree with you.
I'm with you. So it'd be interesting to see. Well, we'll get to the Fulham game. Interesting to see what he does because he's obviously got potential options there. If Smith doesn't come in for that game, does he then move? Does he then move Spence? Spence and put Knudsen inside there.
I've got several words for you. Floyd Ayite, Sheiji Ono. He's going to play Spence right back and Smith because Iorfa's not going to be. Would you remember the Fulham home game? And Sessegnon. Sessegnon. Oh my God. He's definitely going to play Spence right.
I dread to think on Tuesday, but anyway, go
on. Great break from Keogh. I'd be interested from Derby fans' point of view. Does Keogh, when it gets to 80 minutes, think, right, I'm going to have my run for today? And he has a little run up. He did exactly the same he has one run per game, I think.
Do you know what? I thought he's a good player, Keogh. I've never really sort of looked at him before and thought much of him, but I liked him yesterday. Maybe that's because Curtis Davis is beside him, but I thought he had a really, really good game. Good player.
Slides it through for Weimann. And I've always said the one criticism of Bart is he sticks to his lines sometimes. But in the two instances yesterday, he was great coming. When I criticise him for sticking to his line, that's more from crosses, I think.
Yes.
But he's out really well. And Weimann, quite clever actually, chips it over him into the middle. But obviously Derby have got about 17 defenders on now, haven't they? And there's no one up.
Yeah, I said to Kieran, my son, there, I said that's exactly the sort of move that Derby. If Nugent was on, he'd probably been in the 6-yard box, wouldn't he?
It would have hit his back or something, and just it would have been one of those goals where the ball doesn't even hit the net.
In fact, now I talk about it, I've got to confess, in real time, I missed the Winnall strike. Okay, because just at that point, about seconds before, Nugent had gone down the tunnel at the end of half time with his, completely kitted up, came back with his tracky bottoms off. And I expect the text is, oh shit, here we go. And as I was sort of looking at my phone, whack, in it goes. And obviously it didn't happen, but yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't mention, so Vidra went out and Olsen went in, so Rowett really defending the lead, and then Baird comes in for Winnall. So basically, Derby did have 6 defenders on at the end, and both their forwards off for defenders. Iorfa has one crazy run towards the end, and the free kick gets lobbed in. Knudsen
I think that's the one. That's the one I was thinking about. Yeah.
Do you want to go to tweets first, Dave, or do you want to give me your summary? Okay, so let's go from the bottom up. Here we go. Nathan Toms, beaten by the better team, only turned up for 20 minutes. Second goal from Winnall was a thing of beauty. Mick has to strengthen the midfield. That is a must. Lone backup goalkeepers to replace Gherkin, and I reckon Kiefer will play 10 minutes in each of the last 21 games this year. Noel says, with a really substandard midfield, we were never going to beat Derby. Connolly did his usual great job. Noel loves Connolly, doesn't he? But Brew and Ward are just not of the required standard. Feel sorry for McCarthy, as the crippling midfield injury situation is really limiting his options. Andreas Christensen, Derby County were impressive today and deserved the win. We just did not turn up for the first half, but made a decent account of ourselves after going 2-0 down. As for January, hoping that the Colback rumours are true, as we need quality midfielders, fearing that Bart might move on.
Colback?
This is Mullet, who sometimes reports from away games for us. Also, this Colback rumour sounds fun as far as in and outs go. Skews is so crucial. Your chum more to be given some games, and I offer finding some consistency would help immensely now that Webster is cropped. Jay Fulton might need a fresh start from Swansea too. Reese says, beaten by Premier League quality. Derby should have been out of sight in the first half. Definitely need some bodies in January, mainly in that midfield. Think games like today show we don't have enough quality to compete for a playoff spot. Too many better sides. Nathan King just says one word, Dave. He says, Spence. Tristan says, watching first half yesterday felt like watching the Derby match last January. No hard press. Derby players had at least 3 touches every time they got the ball. Outs, Sears on loan, sell Brew, release Iorfa, Inns, right back, and a spiritual healer or wizard. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Tristan. ITFC Tractor Girl. Obviously, the Derby game could have been better, but any team in the league would struggle with all their best midfielders and most creative midfielders injured, but we've seen what this squad is capable. We're both nodding if you're listening on Acast. MJ, this is our Scottish correspondent, Dave, and this is more relevant after the Garner and Waghorn signings, isn't it? Scotland is a good market for Ipswich. Meanwhile, in bargain buys from the other end of the aisle, we have John McGinn at Hibs and John Suter at Hearts. The standout McGinn is a box-to-box midfielder, tipped for the very top, 18 months left on his contract, and Mick's shown his interest before time.
That's right, yeah.
Time to strike. So, Dave, do you want to give me your summary on the whole game, and if we can get to star for Ipswich and opposition player of the week as well?
Yeah, I think that Derby were just very good. I think, and to just start with Derby, I think more than in previous seasons, when they've been on these runs in previous seasons. I think the last 2 seasons have had these, they can go on these 10, 15 game unbeaten runs, then suddenly like hit a wall and lose 5 or 6 on the spin. I don't see that this season. They've got a very strong spine at the side now, haven't they? And Huddlestone and Thorne in centre midfield. Keogh and Davis solid at the back, Carson, and they've got a goal scorer. So I see Derby, good side, mate. We're always up against it yesterday, and someone hit the nail on the head. You know, without all our midfield players, just always going to struggle yesterday. But we had a go. You're right. We had more of a go yesterday. We did. And do you know what? I've seen games like that, and wouldn't have been totally surprised. It would have been slightly unjust if we had grabbed a point. You know, we did have a go where previous games we haven't. As for the McGoldrick thing, I don't know quite what to make. But again, good point from you. I think he was totally affected by trying to play the killer ball every time.
You have to take the context of the game into account. That he was brought in centre midfield when we were chasing.
It didn't work. I mean, Garner was just dominated again. I felt sorry for him. I suppose it got a little bit easier second half when Waghorn moved up with him, but he was just dominated by, and who wouldn't be by Keogh and Davis. And I for all their flair players, I honestly thought, not just because of the run at the end and stuff, I thought Keogh was their best player actually. I like Wisdom. I did like Wisdom, the fullback. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good. I also like Forsyth, the left back, second half playing in front of first half playing in front of us. He was very good too.
He had a cigar,
good side,
didn't he? Yeah.
Good side.
I said on my YouTube video, Dave, the thing I liked about Derby as opposed to other teams is you can see if one player goes out injured that they're not reliant on any one player in that team. They're strong all the way around.
Yeah. I think the difference this season, they've got the squad. I think keep the key players fit. They've got experience as well. Your Huddlestone in there just sat there all game. We moved in a 20-yard area and got the ball and gave it and bossed the game really, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And for Ipswich, I think I had Knudsen as the star guy just for his work in that last 30 minutes.
That Vidra sort of brain fart apart. I thought Chambers had another good game yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You watch Chambers, some of the blocks he gets in are bloody incredible, honestly.
He's really improved the past 30 or 40 games, hasn't he?
Oh, he's playing his proper position, isn't he? Other than again, it was difficult for him yesterday. I don't think the last couple of games I've seen QPR on yesterday at Waghorn's been totally at it. I think he's lost. No, he's his corners ultimately another assist yesterday, but I don't think he's quite been at it. Perhaps just trying a bit too hard, a bit frustration creeping in there. Always going to be difficult, and it's not going to get any easier come the next game, is it?
At least Fulham will always give you a chance, though, won't they?
Yes, it will.
He wanted to say, nah, they're not going to happen.
Well, it's just, Ben, I just look, and again, I checked the Fulham side. We'll do a little bit in a minute. Maybe we won't now, but I checked the Fulham side yesterday, and again, that dream midfield of McDonald, Kearney, and Johansson's back in harness again. And
Camera scored two as well yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, came off the bench. That was fantastic. We'll do that when we get to the games. This is
Yeah.
quite unusual what Jukanovic did. But yeah, it worries me midfield against their three.
Yeah, right. Let's go to the. Oh, sorry. One word answer, Dave. Where are Derby going to finish?
I think they might get second. I think they might go automatic this year. I really do. I think this is a year they might just do it.
Okay, let's go. I don't know.
I think it's a fall. I mean, others are dipping, so perhaps they will hit Cardiff.
Does this sound stupid? I think they could win the playoff semi-final, but not the final. They seem solid enough to. Do you know what I mean? They seem solid enough to bash out the two games, but then in a one game where you just need a bit of. Rowett's very pragmatic, isn't it?
I think this season, looking at what I saw yesterday, and they did blow us away, although first half they could have done. I just think they've got the players there, the experience, quality, and hard players as well that can get the job done this season. I see Wolves running away. I can see Derby getting top two this year.
Do you agree? If Mick McCarthy had money, that Derby team yesterday is exactly what you'd see. Just a kind of a load of kind of big, powerful, sensible
very
guys.
Good analogy. That
do you know what I mean? If he had
a
couple of bits of quality, in those wide positions in the front too,
And not being funny, seeing his post-match remarks, he pretty much said as much. He said they're a very, very, very good side. Yeah, they are. Yeah, we'll see. Well, you've seen, you saw us play Wolves away the other week. That's coming up. So let's see what they look like. But that's coming up quite soon. Hopefully, we'll have some bodies back by then.
Bodies.
Let's not sing the lyrics to that
again. Yeah. Let's do the roundup, Dave. Bristol City 1, Wolves 2. So two send-ins off, a last-minute winner.
What a game.
Nuno going mental in the Bristol City director's box, and Wolves 10 points clear.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, that's what teams do, don't they? And they always seem, teams like that who are on a roll like that just seem to get, things just seem to work out for them, don't they? Yeah, I mean, I watched some of that game. Bristol City were absolutely in control of that game to one bit of class from Cavallero. Incidentally, Cavallero came on for Costa.
Oh, switched those two around now, have they? Yeah.
One bit of class from Cavallero, Doherty through, and Fielding he just makes a decision, and that's it. Game evens. And yeah, immediate retribution. That Douglas, who's got a great free kick on him, hasn't he? Just from the result to add insult to injury from the resultant free kick, 1-1, and again another assist, and Dougie, another assist for the goal from the winning goal from Bennett right at the end. Yeah. On a roll, I think you call it.
Cardiff 0, Preston 1. You're going to be right about this. There's a third game on the trot they've lost, and Preston are in lovely nick, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, and do you think our friends up the road must be looking at that thinking, were we a bit? Well, I don't know. Yeah,
I think sometimes people run their course in a certain job,
in a certain position. Yeah,
don't
you're
they?
right. Yeah.
Birmingham 1, Leeds 0. So bottom place Birmingham. Leeds are actually the next league opponents at Portman Road. So that's kind of encouraging that they can go away to Birmingham and stuff it up.
So Leeds here, so we've got the Cup, Sheffield
on the
United.
6th, yeah, and then Leeds are here on the 13th.
So we've got, 4 home games in a... That would be 4... It would be... No. 4 home games in a row. Yeah, something like that. Anyway. Yeah, Leeds. Yeah, I mean, apparently, I'm quite looking forward to that Leeds game. I mean, it's always good atmosphere. But aren't they bringing 5,000? They've got the whole top of the Cobbold stand. They've been in a million.
Yeah. Million. Sheffield United 0, Bolton 1. So another two of our January opponents, and Bolton, when we played them, they were marooned at the bottom and had no points. They're nearly out of the bottom 3 now. Superb from them, and Sheffield United slipping down a little bit.
I heard Wilder talking after the game, and he scored the goal. He's really bigging up that Gary Medine, who I thought played well against us, didn't he? The unit up front for Bolton.
Borough 0, Villa 1. First win for Villa for a while, and a bad start for your man Pulis.
Yeah, Snodgrass had a good move, a Doma assist. So Christ knows what that makes, goals and assists for him. Yeah, big win that for Villa, got them back on track. Yeah, took a bit of the wind out of Middlesbrough's sails there.
So Brentford move above Ipswich with a 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Fourth win in 6. So Brentford going to finish above or below Ipswich?
I'd love to say below, but I'm not sure they will. Yeah, good
Hull
team.
Hull 2, Fulham 2. How many games have Hull drawn 2-2? Must have been like
Hunt
4 or 5.
Loads, mate, loads. Yeah, no, this was interesting. So good old Jukanovic. So Hull scored 2 sort of fairly quick fire goals around about the half-hour mark. Bowen and Dicko, I think. And good old Jukanovic, the ultimate footballer's disaster. 2 players get substituted on 40 minutes tactically. So he takes off. Hang on, who's he take? He takes off. No, he brings on Cabano and Kamara for Aiti and who's the other one? Is it Ojo?
Oh, no.
Adoy.
Yeah. Adoy, right back.
I think. Oh, it could be Ojo. It could be actually. Yeah, Ojo and Aiti. It was. Yeah. It does the trick. Kamara gets a penalty on 48, and then really nice finish on 83 for the equaliser. Yeah, Fulham, like you say, will give you a chance, but whether we've got the necessary quality out there against them to create those chances, I'm not sure.
Burton 0, Norwich 0. This is a good parachute result because it's not disastrous enough to sound the alarm, but just crap enough for them to still stay 10 points off the playoffs, Dave.
Yeah, it was quite strange yesterday. Someone posted on. I do sometimes take a little quick look and see how.
You're on there all the time.
I'm not. You're not, and you'll be accused of me of having a season ticket. I was looking at quite their forum at W8 Rough of the Barclay, and someone said, "Yeah, it was a funny old day yesterday because they were. Where did he put it? One place closer to top 6, but 2 points closer to relegation." Because the bottom three all won yesterday, bizarrely.
The bottom 6 were unbeaten yesterday, yeah.
Wow.
Barnsley won, Reading won. So, Dave, Barnsley are 10 without a win and have new owners. Is their manager in trouble?
I think it must be looking very closely over his shoulder. I made a point there. It will be an interesting transfer window for Barnsley, I think. Yeah. I think so. And they're certainly their fans.
Millwall do what Ipswich could not do and beat QPR in the league. Millwall have the 5th best home record in the league.
Yeah, when we played there and won there, that's good, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we always say that. It's a tough place to go. It's a tough place to go. Yeah, I saw a stat about Morrison. So it was his first goal of the season, and he'd had the most attempts of any striker, 52 or something like that.
I bet he's the highest on the aerials as well.
Probably, yeah. Funny enough, it was a far post header.
There you go.
So yeah, no, they're doing well, Millwall. I think they're up to about. I saw that old Harris he was talking on the show after. I think they were like 30 points. So yeah, they're on course for a half decent season. Yeah.
Forest 0, Sunderland 1, and we've just found out. So we're recording at it's 11:45 now. Warburton has been fired by Forest. How many managers have they had in the last 2 or 3 years?
Christ, no. I think he was fired as a result of his over flamboyant football. Yeah, it won't get you anywhere at Forest, will it?
Do you think they got someone lined up?
Probably.
See how it pans out, but
Monk, perhaps.
Yeah, so there's a few of them available now, aren't they? Yeah. Carval's gone straight into Premier League job, hasn't he, from Sheffield Wednesday?
And he won yesterday.
Of course he did. So yeah, the entire bottom 6 undefeated yesterday. Right, here comes the extrapolation, Dave. So Ipswich are 11th position with 36 points from 25 games, and for the first time this season, the points per game goes under 1.5, so it's 1.44, which projects 66.24. Top minutes, obviously Skewes has dropped out of this now, so Bart, and then Knudsen, then Garner, then Spence, then Chambers. Top goals, now this is the interesting one. Waghorn 10, McGoldrick 8, Garner 7, Selina 7, but all Garner's goals have been in the league, so he's actually the second top scorer behind Waghorn in the league, because McGoldrick got 2 in the League Cup and Selina got 1 at Palace. Top assists, another interesting one. Waghorn now is tied with Knudsen, so we've predicted that Waghorn's going to be top goals and top assists, and he's now in position for that.
Well, I think you certainly on the assist front, his corners are helping that tally, aren't they?
Oh God, big sell. Ward with 5 still, but he's obviously offset pieces now. McGoldrick and Spence with 3. Right, Dave, the Nasdaq was up big style last week, a double victory. So follow James Dack at James Dack _99. I should write it down, shouldn't I? Get it wrong every week. He has 2 bets per week for the amount of £5, one on Ipswich Town and one on the Championship. Dave, he had, in the Ipswich Town game versus Derby, over 2.5 goals.
Oh dear.
No, that's good. There was
Hang
3
on,
goals.
hang on, there was 3. Oh no, he's right.
He's right.
Oh shit.
The Nasdaq goes up. Right, this is a really interesting one because I'm going to spoil this. He does lose the bet, right? But this bet he had, if he'd reversed it, I think we could all have retired. Okay, so
Go
he
on.
had Sheffield United to beat Bolton. Bolton beat Sheffield United. He had Leeds to beat Birmingham. Birmingham beat Leeds. He's basically
Indeed.
betted against the bottom 3. Forest to beat Sunderland. I reckon the reverse of that would have been over 200 to 1.
Mate, you'd have got a fair old size on that, wouldn't you? Yeah, fantastic.
A fair old wedge. So
You would.
So the Nasdaq is up ever so slightly this week and up over the past 2 weeks. So New Year's resolution, that Nasdaq's gonna. Well, it normally goes like this, doesn't it? The old
It does.
graph.
Yeah. It does. It's the footsie. Yeah, it does.
Footsie under the table. Let's go to the Renegade Statman, your partner on This Week in ITFC History, Dave.
Easy.
Statman, he doesn't say easy this week, so we'll give him an easy. Family commitments mean I can't get you a stat of the week today, but I have been running a poll on Twitter that I thought your listeners would be interested to hear about it. Yes, it's the 2017 calendar year awards. So player of 2017, Bart ran away with this, polling 91% of the votes. We'll miss him come February. Wink. Hope you're wrong about that, Statman. Unsung hero, a slightly closer battle this one. Spence was third with 11%. Chambers was second with 12%. But the winner is Cole Skews with 47% of the votes. We've missed him over Christmas. He's definitely gone up in the fans' estimations this year. Goal of the year. Some great goals were scored by Town in 2017, and some of those were scored by players that were not on loan. However, loanies take the top 3 places. In third place, Tom Lawrence's spectacular effort away to Preston in January. In second, Emir Hughes' volley at home to Newcastle in April. And leading the way, which would have been the first goal of the year, actually, Tom Lawrence away to QPR in January. Great build-up play. A little change of direction by Skews, and Lawrence fires it in from 30 yards. If anyone's still unsure about Lawrence's impact last year, just watch that video of his top 10 goals. It's absurdly good.
Yeah, I can't argue with that one. That was a hell of a strike. Yeah.
I had Hughes away at Villa just for the sheer brilliance of that performance, and
I had that as my best moment.
Oh, okay. Moment of the year, runaway winner here. Knudsen scoring at Carrow Road in February, probably the best 6 minutes of 27 before Norwich equalised. Game of the year, only 6 matches received any votes, which doesn't say a lot about the other 45 games played. In fourth place, Forest 4-2, 10%. In third place, Millwall 4-3. If that had been a home game, that would have 100% won, 16%. Second, Sunderland 5-2. Yeah, that was a great game, wasn't it? And first, Newcastle 3-1. But, guys, if you weren't at that Millwall game, that was bonkers. 3 predictions for 2018. There were some great answers here, and I'll put the full list up on IpswichTownStats.com, that's Statman's website, over the weekend. Cole Skews to win the Ballon d'Or stands out. The most popular choices show that David McGoldrick will be off in 2018. Optimistic fans think we'll finish in the top half of the table, but the top 2 responses were, in first place, Mick will leave, and in second place, Mick will stay. How long will this discussion be allowed to rumble on? Happy New Year, lads, Renegade Statman. Let me just ask you a question on that, Dave, and so thanks for Statman for that excellent poll.
Yeah.
So, if you're Marcus Evans, wouldn't it be a kind of savvy business move now to offer Mick a new contract now? Because if Mick does want to go, he's going to reject the new contract, and then Evans is a sympathetic figure. And if you want Mick to stay anyway, give him the contract now. Would that not be a smart move?
I guess so. I've just got so mixed thoughts about that. I just don't know. In some ways, this season's been a lot better than last. I'd say a lot better. Yeah, it's been better than last season, hasn't it? It just has. Just for the goals scored, for Christ's sake. The entertainment really has been a lot better, I think. But it's got to be time for a change, hasn't it?
I don't know. I think my role in the next 3 months is going to be to play the Mick in argument. So I'll stick with Mick in on the basis that I don't really know. Statman made a really good point on one of his emails a few weeks ago. He said if Marcus Evans owns your club, Mick McCarthy's probably the best manager you can have there.
Yeah.
And
Steady,
the issue is not necessarily Mick, but more if no money's going to come in.
Of course it is.
It's one of those where you just, and we've said this before 20 times, you won't know unless he goes. You just don't know. No one.
That well trotted out line. Be careful what you wish for.
Oh my God, you can't say that.
I know, but no, I'm not saying it. But I'm just saying that's that line that's trotted out time and time again, isn't it? I just don't know. I mean, he goes. I mean, who would you see? What type of manager would you see?
Well, I don't know. That's another of my pet hates, apart from be careful what you wish for. One of my pet hates is when someone says they want a manager out, then someone says, well, who would you get in? They're two different things, aren't they? You can want a manager out and not know who you're going to get in. All I would say is if Mick hadn't been so chippy with the fans, I think a lot of people would be happy for him to sign a new contract, especially now, like you say, given that they've scored goals and signed new players. And if you had the same player turnover next summer, another 4 guys come in or whatever, and another couple of million spent, I wouldn't be averse to that. I just think it's the and I think people just want to change, don't they? Sometimes people just move the furniture around in their lounge for no other reason other than they just want to change.
Feng shui. You know what, Ben? At the end of the day, look, we're not going to go up unless there's considerable investment from the owner. We ain't going up. We're not going up. And you're right what you say. The owner looks at it, and Stat's right what he's said. It's spot on what he said. Mick McCarthy is always going to keep you in that division. He's always going to keep you there. But is that enough? Is that enough season on season with perhaps you have a season like this season where you make good loan signings, say Connolly, Selena, and they've added to certainly Selena at times added to the entertainment, and the signings of Waghorn and Garner. Is that going to be sufficient year on year? You're just going to stagnate, and without we're getting further and further away, Ben. I mean, look at Barnsley, for instance. Look, that's they're going to get. Well, Christ, no, I don't know. That might not work, but you've got to think it has. We are just getting further and further away without being able to compete. I mean, the one positive that we've got this season is that probably potentially our neighbours down the road, if it is a consolation, are potentially going to be in a worse situation than we are. It's
interesting. The reason as well, Dave, I say that it would actually be a good move for him to offer him a contract now. Is that I think what's going to annoy most people is if there's just no news comes from the club for the next however many months. And do you know what I'm saying? That's going to annoy people not knowing, isn't it?
And also players that have contract, that will obviously get dealt with at some point. But that's going to have an effect. The McGoldrick situation is going to have an effect. Clearly he's most fans' favourite, isn't he? You know what I think of him, and we all think of him. What's going to happen there? Surely they're not just going to let his contract run down, are they? I don't know.
We'll see. Dave, Fulham coming up on Tuesday. What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't be looking forward. I'll be looking forward to seeing Fulham play because we love the way they play.
They've battered us the last 3 times, haven't they? Absolutely battered us.
Oh yeah, Christ, yeah. I mean, it was 2-0 and 2-0 back in August. Could have been 3 or 4 or 5 easily. I don't know. Is there any news coming out of the club? Is Skew's likely to be back at all? I don't know if.
I think he is. Yeah, I think that was the whole plan with resting him. So that would be good news. But Webster's definitely not going to be there, like you said.
Yeah, I fear the worst for that. They've just run into form. Well, I say run into form. They're scoring goals as well. Scored 4 at Cardiff. Scored another 2 at. Scored another 2 yesterday at Hull. They will give you a chance, but I'm not sure we've got the creativity in the side to even create. To create anything there really. I do fear the worst. Having said that, I said that a week before the Derby game.
Yeah.
But it's Derby away, not Fulham.
Okay. Right.
What do you think?
Oh, God. Well, I think he's going to keep Ward in instead of McGoldrick. I think
Yeah, I agree.
it might even be an unchanged team, other than, like you say, Smith coming in at centre back
And potentially
for
Skew's coming
Webster.
back. You said.
Yeah, and Skew's coming in for Brew. But what I mean is the system and most of the personnel's gonna stay the same. I think this is where Mick does get found out a little bit. You know, like we said against Holloway, I think while Jukanovic is manager of Fulham, Mick won't beat him. I don't think he knows how to beat him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or even contain them, really.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah. You're going, yeah?
Yes, yeah. I'm looking
Easy
forward
one
to
for
it.
you.
Yeah, nice easy ride. Well, I'm
probably
back to
would,
work as well, so I'm halfway there already. So.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
Okay, so we hope you've enjoyed the first podcast on YouTube. Assuming this all is going to work out very well, and I can get it uploaded and whatnot. So there's going to be loads of content next week. There's going to be a YouTube video after the Fulham game. On Wednesday, Dave, have you got a third round FA Cup special for this week in ITFC history?
I think we have actually. Yeah, there's some crackers in there. Yeah, we have. Yeah. That comes out Wednesday morning.
In the meantime, if you can go to ITFC_Bible on Twitter, they're putting their points predictions poll up, and we'll have that. I'm not going to do a preview show on Friday. We had Mark the Blade on. I'm going to wait for the next league game to get him back on before. We've had him on quite recently, so there won't be a preview on Friday, but we'll be back with the normal show. Hopefully, if all the YouTube stuff works out well, we'll be back on Monday, and then
you got some. Sorry, just quickly, you got some really good comments from I saw after your post-match show yesterday from Derby fans. That's always good, isn't it?
Yeah, they're always nice when they've won, though, haven't they?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I always get more views when the away team wins, but there you go.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
You can like us on Facebook.com/Blue Monday ITFC, on Twitter, Blue Monday ITFC as well, and you can find both mine and Dave's Twitters in the bio there. Also, you can find our T-shirt stuff, which is a nice way to follow, to give us a little bit of support. There it is. There you go, Dave. Nice one. And Dave, Happy New Year to all the listeners. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Ben, and all our listeners. Yeah, been enjoying what I have been enjoying. Looking forward New Year's Day to the darts, mate. Been enjoying the darts. Epic darts last night. Epic. At the Ali Pally.
I need that gif. I need that gif of Alan Partridge going.
Don't care. It doesn't register with you.
Although I went to sixth form. I went to sixth form with Mervyn King's brother Matt.
Oh yeah. Mervyn King was a couple of years younger than me.
And I met Kevin Painter with you at an OMD gig, didn't I?
You did.
Dave was so shy, bless him. He was like, Ben, that's Kevin Painter. My son would love to meet him. And I'm like, go and talk to him. Go on. And Dave's like, nah, can't do that.
Well, I thought I might get a Kiefer Moore brush off.
No, Kevin Painter is far friendly. No, Kiefer Moore wasn't friendly. I just weirded him out, obviously. Right. Anyway, Dave, we've gone.
Happy New Year, mate.
Happy New Year, everyone.
And you're off up to Norfolk, aren't you? Gigging tonight.
I'm off to Deerham's. Good thing the money's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. Thank you everyone for listening,
Ben.
and we'll see you next
week. All the
week.
best.